I will say that this episode was fun, right? I'm not going to say that it was a good episode. I'm not going to say it was a bad episode because it's another one of those episodes that does a lot of exploration. So let's go ahead and talk about the latest episode here today. What is going on, guys? My name is D-Free. Thank you for tuning in today's video where we're going to be talking about episode 62 of Dragon Ball Super. I'm pretty positive it's 62. I kind of lose track with these numbers. But in this episode, what happens is we see Trunks with his new superpower, his new Trunks form. We see him fight Zamasu and Black, and he seems to hold his own against these guys. I've said it this whole time. I'm not going to care. Whatever. This guy's scaling is ridiculous. I don't care what you say. You cannot rationalize this. It's okay, though. It's cool. I do like the form. However, unfortunately, we didn't get any explanation to it. I really get the feeling that this is going to be another one of those things where it's just a one-off cool little thing that happens. I don't know if this will even happen in the little manga adaptation of the Dragon Ball Super or if any of this will happen. Kind of similar to Goku Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken form, in which Goku basically said he'll never use that form again. So it was like a one-time thing. I feel like this for Trunks is going to be something similar. I don't even know if Trunks will be in this show later on either anyway. I'm going to drop a video on that. Stay tuned for that. But, you know, we saw Trunks fight Zamasu and Black, and the man held his own. You know, you got to give him his props. It was lit. It was really dope the way that Trunks was able to hold his own against those guys. I did enjoy seeing Trunks do the Masenko. Trunks is basically everybody's favorite Xenoverse created character at this point. The guy can do the Final Flash. He does the Masenko. He does his own signature moves like the Burning Attack and all that stuff, you know, which was said to be possibly a variation on Masenko. He obviously does Super Saiyan. He does this, you know, false fake Super Saiyan Blue thing that he does now with his new form. I can't wait to play with this guy in Xenoverse 2 if they incorporate this version on that Trunks, because I believe future Trunks will be in the game, this version, but like this outfit, but I don't know if he'll have like the transformation. Hopefully he does, like in DLC with like Rose. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. That'd be dope though. Trunks is interesting because he knows everybody's moves is what I'm saying basically. And kind of fast forwarding a little bit, giving you guys some previews for the next, some spoilers for the next episode preview. Trunks is shown to basically be using the Gallic gun too, so it's like, what can't this guy do at this point, right? All I need him to do is start busting out a Spirit Bomb. He's going to end the arc beating Black with the Spirit Bomb, calling it now. But honestly, that's really all that happens here. He fights them, and then they go back to the regular timeline. He tells Goku and Vegeta they can escape, in which they do. Vegeta was reluctant to do so. He was reluctant to leave his son. Obviously, Trunks is going to be there whenever they come back, still fighting. So they do leave him. They go back to the past, and at that point, Goku is obviously incapacitated. It seems like some time passed because Goku heals up. They left the Senzu Beans in the future, so he did not have the Senzu Beans, and Goku basically had a hole blasted through him by Black. I mean, but basically at this point, seems like some time passes because later on we see Goku wrapped up with bandages. He seems a lot more mobile and stuff, and he's ready to go. I don't know if it's been like a day or like several days, because in between those two things I just mentioned, we see Chi-Chi and Gohan. Chi-Chi's basically looking for Goku because she said that he hasn't been home in ages. So it's been a while since she's seen him. I do think that most of the events, you know, prior to this latest one took place within the course of like a couple of days. I don't think they took very long. So I don't think that would incorporate or constitute her talking about like her not seeing Goku for ages, because I'm sure she's used to not seeing him for a day or two at a time because he's obviously busy with whatever he's doing when he's not home. So I don't know. I think it probably has been some time. Not significantly long though, but you know, she's looking for them, and Trunks basically goes to get Goten. It was interesting to see Goten again because we hadn't seen him since this arc started, and Chi-Chi didn't let him go because he had to do, you know, that school stuff. I kind of thought that was weird. It was kind of like a cop-out to not involve him in the arc, kind of akin to the way that they did that to Gohan in the previous arc, and they were like, hey, yeah, you have to go to this conference. We'll never show you again until the arc is over. And they kind of did that again in this arc because it really pissed me off, and I talked about it in that episode. I liked the episode that they gave Gohan prior to, you know, all this fighting starting whenever Trunks was to go visit him. I liked that episode. I did. But I noticed that they purposely didn't tell Gohan what was going on. I don't know if that was some sort of foreshadowing, but they talk about that in this episode today. They purposely didn't tell him, and then like whenever he was leaving, Videl was like, oh, did you ask him why he was here? He was like, oh no, I actually didn't. So Gohan literally didn't know what was going on the entire time. They left him in the dark, and they didn't involve him in the arc at all. And it kind of pissed me off because it was a way to just kind of remove that character from the arc, from being relevant in the arc. They did something similar to Goten, and they never went back to him until today, or this episode. So they went back to Goten. Trunks went to go get him. Chi-Chi sees them flying. I don't know how she could see them flying, by the way. It's not like they were flying super slow, but whatever. Her and Goten basically go over to Bulma's house. and Capsule Corp, and she sees them, yada yada. She sees Goku, yada yada. Really, this is like exploration. They're just basically gonna spend the next portion of this episode explaining what we already knew to Goten, Trunks, to Goten, Gohan, and Chi-Chi at that point, because they had not been involved in the arc. They felt the need to do so. It was cool seeing Goten kind of concerned, like, wow, I can't believe that's why he came back here. I didn't know this, all these different things. So maybe Goten or Gohan, excuse me, will have a bigger role in the next arc. Who knows? If there is a next arc, I don't know, but it's just kind of just spitballing. At this point, I don't care. You know, I'm content with Gohan doing what he's doing. But from there, they say, okay, well, how can we beat Zamasu in black? And Vegeta's like, that's why we came back here. Vegeta goes to train in the hyperbolic time chamber, according to Piccolo. I don't know if that was bad subs, but that's what he's going to do. He's either going to do that or he's going to go in the gravity chamber. I don't know. But at that point, Goku's like, okay, I'm going to go learn the Mafuba at the recommendation of Piccolo. Piccolo coming in clutch with the recommendation. Now, the Mafuba is an interesting technique. If you guys haven't seen the original Dragon Ball series, it basically is a move that allows the user to seal the enemy inside of something with a talisman on it. So, like, you could put them in a jar or anything, really. I believe that's how it works. But it was mainly used to seal demons, which Zamasu really isn't. Even though he's like an evil Kaioshin, he's not really a demon. But they kind of retconned that in this episode. They didn't really talk about it, but they retconned it because Goku was basically practicing on Umigami on Turtle. So he basically was sealing Turtle inside of, or trying to seal Turtle for a huge portion of the comedy, which was probably my favorite part of the episode, inside of like this big old jar. He didn't put a talisman on it and close the lid, so he didn't actually seal him. He just threw him in there via the Mafuba. The Mafuba is interesting too because it's supposed to kill the user. So something I always thought was interesting about the Mafuba too is that it didn't seem to kill people upon training to learn the Mafuba, because you're training to learn the Mafuba by doing the Mafuba. So I always thought that was interesting. Even back in Dragon Ball, when Ten Shinhan learned the Mafuba by watching Jackie Chun, or excuse me, Muten Roshi use it, you know, he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to use it. But I'm like, bro, how do you guys learn this without dying? So it's weird. So it's supposed to kill them. I don't know if that'll kill Goku or if it won't. It probably won't. They're probably not going to incorporate that aspect of the move. I mean, Roshi kind of implies, he's like, you know, this is dangerous, right? And Goku's like, yes. But, you know, I don't think Goku even really knows about the Mafuba for the most part. I mean, he saw Piccolo reverse it whenever Kami tried to use it on him in the tournament. I'm getting back to a lot of Dragon Ball here because there was a lot of Dragon Ball reference there in that general portion of the episode. I mean, I don't think anything else really too much happened after that, to be honest. I'm a little fuzzy about what happened after that because that was my favorite part of the episode, and after that I kind of tuned out. So there's not really much else in the episode of importance to me, at least. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's review video, thingy-mabob, thingy-majigger. So I don't know, I said a lot in this episode review, so I hope you enjoyed though. That's it for me. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.